Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the flight sim world. This is Viperstrike 95, and today this is a pretty bittersweet moment for us today on this Sunday stream. This is going to be the last all countries around the world trip stream for the time being, as you guys found out earlier on Friday that this series will be discontinued due to the imminent release of Microsoft Flight Sim 20. So I know this is a pretty sudden announcement, but I think it was for the best for the channel going forward. But today we're here in beautiful Anchorage, Alaska, here in Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport, one of the world's busiest cargo hubs. It flies to all over the globe. So that's where we're at today, and today we're going to be heading our way out to the Aleutian Islands. Here today, we've got two legs today. First, we'll go from Anchorage over to Cold Bay, Alaska, and then finally from Cold Bay over to PADK Island. So that's where we're going to be heading out to today on this trip for this flight. So we're in the 737-700 cargo plane, because obviously with Anchorage being one of the world's major cargo hubs, I felt this was pretty fitting to take this plane today. So that's what we're doing today. Before we get started, I do want to say hello to the chat. We have my moderator, Super Typhon. Good to see you. No worries. Yeah, Merce got his big event today. Arca Garden. We will hopefully have enough time to check and raid his channel when we get done. And hello to all the lurkers here too. So good to have you guys here. So of course we're going to get our 737-700 started. So we're just going to go ahead and turn everything on. Alright guys, let's go ahead and set up our cargo plane. We're going to go ahead and set the IRS position. Set Papa Alpha November Charlie. Runway 33 takeoff. PACD, Cold Bay, Alaska. And map. Okay. Go ahead and put 2. Looks good. Argue. Light level 1. 8. 2. And of course, we don't really need much. It's about 11,000 foot. Runway. We're going to go ahead and there isn't much altitude. Okay. Flight director's on. Okay, we don't need to push back for this leg, and we don't need to push back. This is actually the cargo loading bay, so we don't have to worry about push. Probe heat will be on. Anti-ice will be on. Max will be set to auto. So we're gonna take off from runway 33. The flight between Anchorage to Cole Bay is about an hour and 36 minutes. This will be an hour and 36-minute flight over from Anchorage over to Cole Bay. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Okay. Take off, and we're gonna be leaving out of Anchorage. Okay, lift off from Anchorage. Starting departure out of Anchorage this morning. Starting departure out of Anchorage this morning, guys. Just absolutely. So we're gonna head to Cole Bay, Alaska. So if we ever get a chance to take off, we might get a good chance to check out if we can overlook Lake Clark National Park. So keep your eye on for that. Um, as we fly up into the Alaska wilderness. Just what a stunning departure out of Anchorage. But I guess the nice thing about the next around the world trip I'm going to be planning on my own for 2024. The nice thing about the new all countries trip is going to be because I'm going to be doing these alphabetically, and more importantly, I don't have to have a continuous journey. We're not going to fly the airliners nearly as much on the next one. So, hey, more general aviation, which would be really nice for a lot of you guys. Including myself, because I love GA. I do enjoy the airliners, but I'm saving those for the Wednesday stream. Hey, Armanata, good to see you, my dude. Welcome on in. We're doing it. We're doing the final leg of our around the world trip for the time being. We're in the 737 700 cargo plane, cargo BDSF variant. We're doing some flights into the Aleutian Islands. We're heading to Cold Bay, Alaska. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a great weekend. And yeah, lots been going on, pretty crazy around the flight sim world. So some pretty big. So there is a bit of new news. Mainly, Jetstream Designs has released their new Geneva Airport for MSFS 2020. So we're going to get a new Geneva Airport featuring a highly accurate and detailed recreation of Geneva, a fully functional visual docking guidance system, dynamic airside traffic, beautifully modeled interiors, realistic snowbanks by the weather, developed with support from Geneva Airport itself, which is pretty crazy. Stunning night lighting, optimized for smooth performance, it serves a diverse range of air traffic. Available for €20 on Contrail, Cinemark, and Orbix. Which is pretty exciting. Geneva's a really cool airport, but my only issue is when you release it this late, isn't it better just to wait until MSFS 2024? It's also the same thing for the 737 immersion pack for basically the same reason. It's going to be priced at $15 if you buy Parallel 42, though if you are a Club 42 member, you can get early access to it. But basically, it's an immersion pack for the 7.3, which I think would get more use out of it for me than it would be for the 777, just because, you know me. But I just think it's a little late on. So that's just me, but I think that's a little late. Um, so thinking about other flights and news, I do want to talk about X-Plane because X-Plane's got some pretty big news. The Tolas A330-900 is going to be coming out October 19th, which is next month. It's going to be bringing their A330-900 Neo, which should be very much anticipated for all you X-Plane pilots out there. I know X-Plane isn't as popular as Microsoft is going to be, but I still want to put it out there because I know a lot of people are looking forward to the. But yeah, it looks really good. Looks really nice. So that's just been news. There hasn't been a lot of news. Oh, okay, good, Armor Addict. And you're just getting home. No worries. I know. So to our right, if you look to our right, this is Lake Clark National Park is to our right. Again, Alaska's got many national parks. Um, this national park was created as a national park in 1980 by the Alaska Interlands Conservation Act. It includes the many streams and lakes vital to Bristol Bay salmon fishery. It includes namesake Lake Clark. There's lots of recreation activities year-round, and the park protects the rainforest along the coast of the Cook Inlet, alpine tundra, glaciers, glacial lakes, and even two volcanoes. Most well-known being Iliamna. One of the more common activities at the park is bear watching. Bear watching is quite popular. As well as fishing is allowed in both. Kayaking, rafting, and bird watching are other activities at the park. And it's home to lots of Alaska wilderness. Most notably the sockeye salmon that inhabit many of the waters in this area. There's like Yeah, and this area is starting to get snow because obviously we're going to be hinting towards winter in Alaska. That's going to be coming pretty soon. So. What's the temperature? Or like an anchor. It's 50 degrees today. High of 50. It's going to remain 50 for pretty much all this week. Anchorage is going to be 50 degrees. Yeah, the temperatures are going to be hovering around the 45 to 50 degree area all week. Because if it's one thing Anchorage is, because it's coast, it doesn't get super hot, but it doesn't get super cold. So, oh, server. If you do exclamation point info, um, it tells you what we are. We're in the Southeast Asia server, or exclamation point server. Also helps too. But yeah, I'm usually on Southeast Asia because that's where Murphs usually does his server. So I keep it to what he does. Southeast Asia. Yeah, there is Lake Clark Preserve to our right. Is one of Alaska's national parks. So the thing I'm most excited about for 2024 is definitely, of course, the natural scenery stuff because I know with all the newly improved data and all that, it's gonna be a really big game changer for GA. And I think I'm hoping Alaska looks even better. Some areas of Alaska look fantastic in the sim, but I honestly think MSF 24 will turn this area even. And that's why I'm excited for GA flying in 2024 and 2025. And that's also the main reason why I'm actually canning the series too, because with all the insane amount of changes between the two sims, I thought it would be better just to can this series, prepare for MSFS 25, get me used to the new flight sim in 2024 for me to get used to it, and then of course we can plan out in years 2025 and 2028. I know it's pretty far ahead, but again, you planning sometimes it'd be great to plan things out a bit. Mm-hmm. So I think for next week, I think I got some things planned next week. So on Wednesday, we'll be back with Firefly Air once again, and we'll be doing some more flying. So I think next week we're going to be doing some flying in Europe, probably. I was actually thinking about doing some airliner ops. Probably, I was. I'm thinking about actually doing some airliner flying in Hawaii again. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm thinking about doing some ATR ops again in Hawaii, which I would be pretty excited for. So, so I think I'll be pretty excited. So we're gonna be, um, so we're gonna actually, I'm probably thinking about going from Hilo, um, probably gonna do some ATR stuff. It's gonna be Lihu over to to Kahului, which is where we ended up last time we were in Hawaii. We're gonna take the ATR into from Papa Hotel Lima, India. Then make our way to Papa Hotel Oscar Golf. I was thinking about that. And then from there we head back to the Big Island, but we're gonna land at Papa Hotel Tango Oscar at Hilo International. We do some ATR ops in Hawaii. I think would be really cool. And since there isn't too much distance between these islands apart, I think that would be a pretty fun little Wednesday stream back in Hawaii. I think that would be fun. Then, of course, Friday is going to be interesting because we're not doing the Around the World trip anymore. So I'm free to do what I want on the Friday. And I think Friday stream is I'm looking at college game day and see where we're going to be going for college football. It's going to be in Alabama this week. So we're going to be doing some GA flying in Alabama. So we're going to fly up to Tuscaloosa today. So we're going to be going from Athens to Tuscaloosa on Friday. So we're going to go Athens, Georgia. We're going to do GA flying over Atlanta. Then we'll make our way south, cross into Auburn, Alabama, and then make our way up to Tuscaloosa. But I think that's what we're going to be doing on Friday because I'm a big college football guy, so I think that would be a lot of fun. That would be a pretty nice little GA flight, and then on Sunday would probably be somewhere a bit more scenic. But I was actually thinking about doing some general aviation operations in. I was actually thinking about doing some GA stuff in Tasmania. I never had the opportunity to do Tasmania yet. So I think that's what I'm going to be planning on doing on Sunday. We're going to make our way through Hobart, go through the different national parks, and make our way up to Queenstown or something like that. But do some general aviation ops in Tasmania. That would be. I think that's going to be the plans for next week. Oh yeah. I hope so too. They pay more attention to Africa. I know our airline has a hub in Nairobi. Yeah, I hope we get better data for Africa. That is one I definitely agree with. Arm Addict. Because there's so many incredibly good regions of Africa to fly over. South Africa has always been quite nice to fly over. Always been quite nice. There's some beautiful areas in Namibia around like the whole desert region. Just gorgeous sand dunes. Lesotho, insane mountain scenery in Lesotho. Absolutely crazy mountains in that area. Lesotho's got crazy mountains. We know the Victoria Falls era. Always nice to check out. I know Jefferson's had an amazing scenery on that. Our Virtual Airlines hub in Nairobi has got some naturally some gorgeous areas. Mount Suswa, Mount Kenya, and of course Kilimanjaro is not far at all. But yeah, I would love to see Africa get a bit of a touch because there's some absolute gorgeous areas in that continent. I hope it gets touched. And yeah, the same thing for Asia and South America. I hope we get more of that for those continents. For South America, obviously, I mean Ecuador and all that would be really cool to get a little touch up. I know Brazil's going to get an update. Brazil would be really cool. I know the Andes look pretty nice in many areas. The Andes and Patagonia look really nice. But yeah, a little touch up wouldn't be a bad thing for those areas too. Then Asia, obviously, yeah, there's a lot of things in Asia. Halong Bay would be interesting. Bay of Phuket would be cool to have. I mean, Laos would definitely look. I hope Laos looks amazing. I hope we can make a reappearance in that. Country because Laos looks really cool. And yeah, China could really use something, but to be fair, I blame the Chinese Communist Party more than anything else. So, yeah, there's more of the national park down below Lake Park National Park. So you definitely see it's covered by the clouds, but you can definitely see much of the national park. Oh yeah, this is a hard eye. Yeah, I'll get that too. Sorry, hard high. Hard to get to in the 172 and it goes to airport is yeah, I can relate to that. That's a hard eye. Oh, the Rishak structure. Yeah, that one. That's in Mauritania. So we'll also go to another national park. Katmai National Park is going to be where we fly over next. We got another national park to fly over. we've actually been to the Aleutian Islands before. In fact, we actually did one in the previous around the world trip last time. But unlike this time around, we're not really going to fly through almost all the islands because, well, I was when I planned this trip, I wanted to speed up through it so we can get to the country. So we skipped over flying over many of the Aleutian Islands. I may want to go back to doing that at some point. That won't be until for a very, very long time. But the Aleutians are definitely a place I do want to check out what MSFS 2024 would do. Because I did enjoy my time flying over the Aleutians. They were absolutely gorgeous last time. In the old DC-3. I think I still have pictures of it in one of the chats. Oh yeah, it's still there for my Britling DC-3. Oh no! Oh, do you use low nav map? Yes, I do. I forgot to answer questions. Looking at the chat. Yes, I do use Little Nav Map still. I mean, I've used it since release. I guess I don't think it's supported much anymore. I don't believe. Oh, nice! You're playing a live time. Yeah, this area looks pretty on the dawn area for sure. Yeah, it makes sense because Alaska is actually pretty much morning. Who cares? What is live time? Because we're flying live time, I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, it does look cool out there. Oh yeah, that's Katmai National Park to our left. I'm gonna go back to my normal time. I'm gonna change. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, that's cool. Looks really, really cool. Stunning, just stunning scene. Yeah. That's Katmai National Park below us. Katmai National Park is about 4 million acres, notable for the Valley of 10,000 Smokes Valley, and well known for its brown bear population. Believe it or not, this national park is between the size of the U.S. states of Connecticut and New Jersey. Most of the national park is designated as a wilderness area and named after Mount Katmai, its centerpiece stratovolcano, which, funnily enough, this stratovolcano um, is about 6,700 feet above sea level. And it's actually now a crater lake. It has its own little crater lake above too. Oh, pretty cool national park. It was originally designated as a national park due to its volcanic history. However, it was left undeveloped until the 1950s. And it became appreciated for its wildlife, sockeye salmon, and the bears. It's also got animal species such as the snowshoe hare, moose, timber wolf, coyote, beaver, lynx, wolverine, river otter, weasels, and porcupine. Marine mammals often live around the coast, mainly the harbor seal, sea lion, sea otter, beluga whale, and the orca. But by far the most important fish species is the sockeye salmon, which feeds a lot of the bear and bald eagle species during their spine run. Super cool. Of course, I'm gonna give a shout out to Tuto Murphy. He's streaming where I'm at, but he's doing a really cool event. And I recommend you guys check this out. He's doing the Operation Market Garden with the DC3 and stuff. He's doing that today on his stream. It's a huge event. Um, he's recreating the famous operation during World War II. I actually did the achievement this morning because I wasn't going to make it there due to my stream, obviously. So I decided to quickly do the achievement this morning because I know I couldn't make it there during my stream. It would be better for me to do the achievement beforehand. Something pretty fast, but at least I got it taken care of. Definitely check his stream out. Excellent, excellent guy. Ticho Murphy, one of the very best in the fight sim community. And I'm not joking. I'm very serious about it. We're going to be Now, obviously, on the other side of the national park, um, is Kodiak Island. Very, very famous island for a lot of the brown bear populations. It's also home to the largest subspecies of brown bear in the world, and that is the Kodiak bear. It's basically the subspecies of brown bear, and it's the largest subspecies of brown bear in the world. They are absolutely huge compared to even their normal bear size. Most Kodiak bears uh, can reach up to 1,300 pounds, which is way more than normal brown bear, significantly more. To put that in perspective, the normal brown bear species, compare that to the normal grizzly bears. These things are huge. They're about 1.5 to 2 times larger than their cousins. Yeah. And the reason for that is because a lot of their dieting and feeding, they feed on very fattening salmon, which produces plenty of protein and fat to keep them through the entire year. Um, yeah, these are absolutely massive. It's absolutely. And bear viewing has become very popular. Is a lot of people like to do bear viewing stuff. So sometimes they take via float plane stuff to lodges so people can view the bear. That's something I want to do. I wanted to do some. Oh, thank you, Typhon, for getting rid of the bots. Yeah, there's been a lot more bots these days. Than I used to not have bots. Now I get more than a few. Not normal. Yeah, Alaska's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my favorite American states to visit. I know, I get it. It's a very remote place, which is why more people haven't visited Alaska. But Alaska's a gorgeous state, and that's why it's one of the states I'm hoping MSFS 24 really improves. Beautiful, tons of great areas for your GA needs. Got obviously Southeast Alaska, where I've already been to there twice. It's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you have Wrangell, which we flew over last week. Wrangell St. Elias National Park, gorgeous national park. On Friday, we went over Denali. That's absolutely pretty. Last year we took over Kenai Fjords National Park. That was incredibly eye over. And the Aleutian Islands. I mean, Alaska's got a lot of pretty areas here. So one of the really cool things about Alaska, and some more fun facts about Alaska. One of the more unique facts about the states, and what makes it a pretty cool area here, is the fact that Alaska is the 49th state. In fact, in some areas, Alaska is actually closer to Russia than it is to Washington State. As you can actually, it's about 50 miles from Russia, because obviously at the very tip of the Aleutian Islands is actually around the Bering Sea. Because if you go to Diomede Islands in Wales, basically you could just get them touching about 50 miles, and you already get from Alaska to Russia. And one of the more unique things about Alaska is the fact that Russia was the one who sold Alaska for $7.2 million. It was actually the deal was actually ridiculed, called Seward's Folly. However, when they found gold and oil and natural gas in that region, yeah, looks like the Russians ended up being pretty foolish for letting it go, since Alaska gave the Americans gold and oil, strategic interests. Yes, Alaska is a very strategic area militarily, because it gives the U.S. access to the Arctic Circle. No worries, Armanatic. No worries. You can meet me in Cold Bay. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly good, my dude. You can catch me up in Cold Bay. That's perfectly good, my dude. No worries at all, my dude. Like, things happen. Cold Bay, Alaska is where we're going to be heading to first. So it's part of the Alaska Peninsula. One of the major areas in Alaska. So the Peninsula of Alaska stretches around 497 miles southwest from the mainland of Alaska. Um, and it extends outward from the end of the Alaska Range. It is also into the Aleutian Range, which runs throughout the entire length of the peninsula. There are tons of volcanoes all around this area. The most active volcano being the Pavlov volcano, which is around 8,200 feet above sea. And has been one of the most active volcanoes in the United States. I think we're not too far from Pavlov. Like, like Pavlov's. Frosty volcano. Mount Dutton. Oh, yeah, we'll be flying through the DC-8 September 1973 Memorial Park in Mountain Dutton. One of the crashes. Yeah, Pavlov's right next to Dutton. We'll be flying near Pavlov. Yeah, we're gonna fly near Pavlov, which is the most active volcano in the country. That volcano particularly has erupted multiple times since 1980, including 1981, 83, 3 straight years in 1986, 87, 88, 2 straight years in 1996, 97. Most recently, it's currently erupting as of August 2021. It's still erupting as a volcano. Yeah, there are a lot of them in. Oh yeah, funnily enough, Mount Dutton, which is going to be next nearby. This is where a DC-8 crasher was part of World Airways Flight 802. It was flying from Travis Air Force Base in California, and it was going to fly over to Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, with some stopovers at Cold Bay and Yokota. However, it was approaching Cold Bay, and it actually crashed on high ground due to the captain's non-adherence to published approaches to airports. So it went off course, things, and it struck Mount Dutton, and it killed everyone. So let's hope we don't end up doing that today. Oh yeah. Oh cool. Oh nice. Any Czech national monument. Okay. Ah yes. Hard to see with the live weather on the clouds. Yeah, from those photo documents from my app, definitely is. I think I've flown over before, but thank you for pointing that out, Armored Addict. Deeply appreciate that. Yeah, the Alaska Peninsula continue on that. Um, Southern side of the peninsula is very rugged and mountainous, created by the uplifting tectonic activity of the North Pacific Plate, which is basically a western section of the North American Plate. While the northern is just much more flat and marshy, thanks to all the erosion seismic activity, it makes it quite marshy. Um, Temperature actually kind of varies during the summer months. You can get to, for example, in Cold Bay, Alaska, which is where we're going to be flying to first. You can actually reach temperatures at highs around 64 during the summer, while in winter, um, it'd be around like 23, 24 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't that bad actually because of the more oceanic climate. So it doesn't get too cold. However, you do have to deal with storms, wind, and rain. You have the Alaska Peninsula. In terms of animal species, the peninsula is home to some of the largest native and undisturbed wildlife in the country. Besides the Alaska brown bear populations, there's also large herds of caribou, moose, waterfowl, wolf, and wool ptarmigans. There's also exceptionally large seabird colonies along the coast, and large populations of sea mammals in the North Pacific, including harbor seals, ring seals, northern fur seals, whales, porpoises, and sea lions. All live in part of it. Oh yeah, Port Hayden, that's to our left. Hard to see with all the clouds and the morning sun. Maybe that maybe. I think top of the scent. I don't think top of the scent is going to be too. Okay, it's another 80 nautical miles. Oh, the last time I flew this route, I was heading to Osaka from Anchorage. Ah, cool. There was not a single cloud in the sky. All awesome. Armor Addict. I think, I think Armor Addict, if I think so correctly, I think you were flying. I think you had to have a stopover in Anchorage, I believe, Europe, because back in the old days, Anchorage used to be a very popular stopover place for a lot of flights over from Europe to Asia. I know they don't do that anymore thanks to all the modern jet technology, but I bet it. But from what I can see, what you typed, I think that was where you had a stopover from Europe to Alaska. But I could be wrong, but that's just what I think was more likely. But yeah, that was so cool. Um, very very cool. Very, like I said, I haven't visited this part of Alaska yet. The only part of Alaska I visited Armagnac is Southeast Alaska, and that's an absolutely amazing area to visit. If you ever got the chance to visit Southeast Alaska, it's absolutely gorgeous. Good weather for the most part if you visit during like the or summer or before it gets really cold. Get yourself treated to some really great weather and scene. And I got plenty of those pictures in my Discord too. It's in my IRL travel is where you can find my. Oh yeah, in terms of other sports news, the NFL's coming on this week, so another week of NFL football games going to be coming on. So we got some pretty cool games this week. I know the Jets beat down the Patriots on Thursday. Not really surprised. The Patriots are terrible this year. They're not very good this year. The Colts this week are playing the Bears. So Anthony Richardson versus Caleb Williams. Gotta keep an eye on that one. But I think an interesting game this week, I think, is going to be um in a very interesting game. Chiefs Falcons is going to be an interesting one. That game is going to be pretty interesting for Sunday Night Football with Mahomes taking on Kirk Cousins. That should be pretty interesting this year. Of course, the other team I definitely keep an eye on is tonight is definitely the Cowboys and Ravens. This could be a good one. So the Ravens have not started very well this year. Kind of weird. Also, the Carolina Panthers are absolutely horrible this year. Oh, the Carolina Panthers have been absolutely abysmal this year. Only scored 13 points and gave up over 70 points. Absolute garbage. I'm sorry, absolute garbage. Oh, okay. That makes sense. FedEx. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Cargo aircraft. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, Memphis to Oakland. That makes sense. Oakland's one of their regional centers for FedEx. Then Oakland to Anchorage. Then you fly to Osaka International Airport, the old Osaka International Airport. Yes, because there's another Osaka Airport that's currently used by a more modern one, which is Kansai International, but you flew into the older Osaka Airport. And then you flew back to Anchorage, then went to Chicago O'Hare, then back to Memphis. That sounds like a really interesting itinerary for flights. I guess maybe when I get back home, I might do something with Firefly Air, maybe. Maybe do some interesting itinerary for flights. I was thinking Vegas, Denver to Omaha, Omaha to Chicago, something like that. I do something like that when I get right back to the old days. It took about 5 days. I know that's some fine time. But at least the good news is that you didn't have to fly straight from Oakland to Osaka. You could just fly to Anchorage. really good to have because Anchorage allows you to carry less fuel and more cargo. Trust me, cargo is when they make them. Beautiful day here in Alaska. Yeah, top of the is going to come in soon. I do have my notes planned for where we're going to be going to Cold Bay, Alaska. So we'll get to top descent very shortly. It's about 20 miles. Of course, the reason I took the 73700 is because some of these airports are a bit smaller in the Aleutians, especially ADAC Island, which is going to be ADAC. Okay, isn't that small of a runway 7800, but still pretty remote, and I thought a smaller plane would work. Oh, you're mirroring a flight back, but November 877 Foxtrot Delta F last year. Ah, gotcha. Oh yeah, yeah, I understand why you made this, Saka. Your main destination was Shenzhen. Oh yeah, Shenzhen's way, way down south. Shenzhen's not far from Hong Kong. Um, yeah, that would have taken the flight a lot longer. Like, no joke, it would have taken things a lot longer. Yeah, you cut out a whole 1,300 nautical miles out. That will save you about 2 3 hours. You save yourself a couple hours, or potentially even more on the way back, depending on the wind. 3 4 hours you just saved. Okay. So our stop today is going to be at Cold Bay, Alaska. It's going to be our first stop of the day. So Cold Bay, Alaska is located in the Aleutians East Borough of Alaska. right around the very eastern part of the Aleutians. Population of 108 people in 2010. However, it's only 50 people to right now. It's one of the main commercial centers of the Alaska Peninsula, which takes west into the Aleutian Islands, and it's home to Cold Bay Airport, which is where we fly in here. Cold Bay, Alaska has been around, incorporated since 1982, but the military presence in this area has been around since World War II era, with Fort Randall built in this area to protect this area against the Japanese. To try and put a diversion attack against the Midway campaign, so they try to attack the Aleutian. In fact, this area was also well known for in 1945 was the site of the largest and most ambitious transfer program called Project Hula, which transferred dozens of ships and craft to the Soviet Union. And they also trained the Soviets in their operation in anticipation of their war against Japan. Because after the Soviets were done basically against the Germans, they turned their attention to Japan, and the Japanese didn't really do very well at all against the Soviets. In later years, Cold Bay became well known for a refuel and emergency landing spot for a lot of the Great Circle flights from the West Coast to East Asia back in the old days. So nowadays, it's not really as much anymore because obviously with planes and all that, being able to fly nonstop, it's got a smaller population. Cold Bay is also well known for one of its unique traditions, the Silver Salmon Derby, a fishing contest that takes place every fall. Participants vie in both adult and child categories, cash prizes for the largest fish. They also hold a raft race and polar bear jump are also held here too, and the derby concludes with a banquet and door prize giveaway at the town community, which is one of the unique traditions. And of course, the airport we'll be paying a visit to today is Cold Bay Airport, Papa Alpha Charlie Delta, Cold Bay Airport. This airport here was built as a U.S. Army Air Force's airfield during World War II, and it's one of the main airports serving the Alaska Peninsula. There's also scheduled passenger service and air taxi operators here in this area too. It also features one of the largest runways in all of Alaska. It's the fifth largest runway in Alaska. It's 1533. It's about over 10,000 feet. It's mainly used for a lot of airline services to Anchorage and many Alaska destinations like False Pass, Dutch Harbor, Sandpoint, and King Cove. So historically, this was often used for quite a bit of refueling stuff. And it's where a lot of planes did have their divergent landings here. Yeah, that is Cold Bay Airport. Oh, I had a friend who flies for FedEx. Oh, nice. That's awesome. That is so cool. Like I said, I love cargo flying more than I do with passengers. Not that I don't like passenger operations, but trust me, if I'm a pilot, I'd rather deal with cargo than I deal with unruly passenger. I would much rather deal with the cargo stuff any day of the week. Plus, well, if you do know where I live, I also live near a cargo hub myself. You see, I live around the Louisville metropolitan area, and I live around SDF, which is not only my local commercial airports, it's also UPS's cargo hub. So I'm very, very familiar um, with cargo airports. So if I ever did take an aviation job and wanted to work for a larger airline, well, this is the one I want to work with since it's right where I live. So why not? UPS is where I want. Yeah, should be a seeing landing in Cold Bay. Oh yeah, I do have the METAR still. So yeah, it's gonna be quite a. The wind speed is 21 to 31 knots, 10 miles visibility, 5,000 foot ceiling. Yeah, we're landing at 1-3, which is where we're going to be landing today because it's going to have a bit of a crosswind. This head crosswind. That's going to be interesting. Oh yeah, we finally get to see some of the Alaska scenery here, guys. Take a look to our left. Nice. Look at some of the Alaska scenery here, guys. Beautiful Alaska. Yeah, it's gonna be very windy. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have some winds in this part of Alaska. Yeah, the wind's gonna be crazy. And yet, in real life, there are already gonna be planes flying and landing in this area over the next couple of. What's the max crosswind for a 7.3? Oh boy. 33 knots. Um, limitations. Crosswind. With the NG, 36 knots. So we're right around the max limit. Oh, that's gonna be fun. 36 knots. So just barely in it. Oh boy, this is gonna be it. I'm in the A320 lab where you can tolerate 38. Okay, yeah, I'd be right, just barely right in. Oh. Yeah, this is gonna be 23 to. It says 23 to 31s. Yeah, the thing I'm most looking forward to for 2024 is definitely all the new aircraft. Um, because there's some really exciting planes I've really been wanting to fly. Um, um, Fly in the sim. For example, some of the new regional airliners are going to be really nice to fly, such as the Saab 2000. That's going to be a lot of fun to fly. Like that Saab is gonna be a lot of fun to fly for all the regional jet stuff, regional stuff. And of course, I already have the ATR, so as well. So that and the ATR are gonna be really fun to do some more. I'm thinking about putting it into some of the more remote locations or smaller communities. I think would definitely make the Wednesday stream a lot more fun. There's Mount Eminster, right? It's hard to see with all the cloud cover. There's a lot of cloud cover here for a lot of it. We passed over Pavlov, and now we're heading to. Here we go. I think the nice thing is because I also have the ATR I bought, so that's gonna be backwards compatible when the I believe so. So I'll get the ATR compatible, and we can do some ATR and soft ops in Canada would be a lot of fun. Because I think the SOC would be fun flying to some of the more remote communities in British Columbia. Kamloops, Kelowna would be a lot of fun. Kamloops would be really cool. Maybe Port Hardy in Vancouver Island would be a gorgeous one. Do some flying. Here we are, guys. Cold Bay, Alaska. And in. I do mine when I'm about to start my descent. Oh, I see you're already at 13,000 feet, but have you entered your approach info? I've already did, by the way. Already got my approach info, and I'm already descending down to 1,100 feet. Yeah, I've already took care of all that approach info and stuff. I've already took care of all of it before the flight. Yeah, but I already got my approach info and everything set up before the flight. I get everyone does things a little differently. Some people do their approach stuff um, when they do descend stuff. Like everyone does things differently. I usually plan everything out before my flights. That's just how I've always done it. I know everyone else does. Some people do things a little differently depending on real world procedures. Some people do it. It's just for me. I've already done all that before. So here we go. First, do all the cloud cover. Okay, it looks like it's not that bad. And then like, goodness. I heard that 15 after 20, after takeoff, you're supposed to set that landing gear to mid. Okay. Okay, so that's in the off position. Take the landing gear, put it off, and then put it back up. I gotcha. Got my HUD up. Like, one of the nice things about the 7.3 is the heads-up display. Our first stop here is at Cold Bay, Alaska. So the all brake to max because I'm going to get this back to the parking. In one out. Welcome to Cold Bay, Alaska. Beautiful area of the world, but not the easiest landing spot, for sure. I'll land it right in the. Turns out the crosswind's not bad. Yeah, that's the one thing about Alaska's weather is I thought it was going to be worse than that. Turns out. 200. No, crosswind. Oh my goodness. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Whew. That was an interesting landing. Did the best I could with that. I didn't. I wasn't trying to make it too soft of a landing because obviously that's not a good thing. I think that was a pretty good landing. I think it was the perfect kind of landing. Not too smooth, but not too rough. I think that was just perfect. Especially deal with the insane crosswind of this airport. Insane crosswind. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick pit stop, drop off some cargo and stuff, and we're gonna make our way over to Jack Island. That was a pretty good. I guess there was a land challenge. It is. I record my lands with Flight Sim Toolkit Pro. Sim Toolkit Pro has got We'll just stop right here. Quick break. You guys want to take a quick break, or if you guys want to join on in, uh, here, up here for a bit. You guys want to get everything set up. Prepare for the second and final leg over to PADK Airport. Everybody gets it. There was 156 nautical miles away. No worries. We'll take a quick break. And let's. Yeah, let's just take a look a bit about the area around Cold Bay, Alaska. But this is absolutely gorgeous area for incredible stuff. Let's. Of course, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the flight plan for our flight. PAC 33. Okay. PADK Island. Unit 2 40. That was the. I'm gonna change it to 2. And our fuel Cargo. 500. Flight level 380. 281 through 4. And off. Full base runway 33 length is 10,000. And then I'm going to go do ahead and do course going to be 203. I'm going to go ahead. So we got our second and final stop left to go, and that is to PADK Island. This one is going to be a 1 hour 30-minute flight, so this is going to be a bit shorter of a flight than the last one we took. It's just going to be a minute shorter, funnily enough. It's going to be around the same time. Yeah, the scenery here is crazy. Oh, nice. Hit your top of the sin here in Cold Bay. What's good to be? PADK Airport. Oh my god. Staying CrossFit. Oh, I see Armanatic. Right, I see you, get my dude. Yeah, we're gonna fly over the Aleutian Islands, and Aleutians are definitely a really cool set of islands here in Alaska. The fun fact is, I've ever learned how the app fixes and range rings. I've been playing around every flight. Yeah, same thing here with the range rings and stuff. I sometimes play around to see where top of climb's going to be and all that. I've mainly been doing a lot of that sort. Yeah, there's still so much to learn about these airliners. It's crazy, and I've been learning more about it ever since this thing came out in 2022. So I'm also currently doing another project at home as well. So I'm looking at the central and Midwest United States. What I'm looking at currently. I got a few more done on my own about this project, but I decided to actually get out of my home. I may hang out here for a while after I land. I like jumping Google. Oh yeah, definitely, more definitely do what you want to do there, Armor Addict. I do like to look around Google Earth too. That's what I like to do a lot as well. Yeah, I definitely like doing that as well. So I can't wait for next year when 2024 comes out. One of the things I'm very interested in is definitely doing the exploration of the United States of America. I may look at flight plans, see which is interesting to take. But basically, what I'm trying to look for the next year's plan would be is I would try to visit each of the U.S. state capitals. For example, if I'm going to do a flight plan, let's say I want to do some flying around California. So for that stream, I'm trying to find a way to plan to and create a flight plan that goes around Sacramento, which is the state capital. So maybe I do GA flying, take off from beautiful Monterey, take off from around that area, make our way through the Bay Area, San Francisco, go up through the Bay Area to through Napa Valley to Sacramento, and then wrap up the trip to Lake Tahoe, visit the lake. That might be one stream. Maybe if I'm doing something like or if I do another stream, let's say I'm going to be flying to, let's say I want to do some flying in, let's say Nebraska. Capital is actually all the way in Lincoln. Lincoln's the capital of Nebraska. So maybe fly from Omaha straight to Lincoln, maybe head west or something like that. There's a couple things I'd like to do with some of these flight plans. I want to come around in the future. That's something I really want to do. I think that. Mm. currently looking at what ADAC Island kind of looks like on Whole Bay looks like around. Okay, there's not much of a street view thing around Cold Bay. Okay, yeah, they decrease. Yeah, Alaska's weather is always been unpredictable. Alaska's winds, the winds of Alaska are always very unpredictable. One thing about Alaska's weather you keep an eye on for visitors: the wind. So in climbing up the peak all the way to Denali. we're gonna head our way over to PADK, so that's gonna be our next stop. We're gonna climb all the way up to 38,000. Again, there's just a lot of cloud cover, sadly. Can't really see a lot of Aleutian Island. Also, we'll be pretty far away from any land. We'll be flying here for quite a bit. So I'm just gonna show you guys to look at what we buy the time a bit. Since this is gonna be a low. This is indeed a pretty slow thing as well. Didn't really have too many notes since we're going to be flying over the Aleutian. So we're going to be heading over to the Aleutian Islands, and this is a whole chain of islands. So this here is the Aleutian Islands. Now, the Aleutian Islands are basically a group of islands of 14 main larger volcanic islands and 5 smaller ones. Those belong to the United States state of Alaska. Those some islands are part of Russia. They occupy a land area of 6,821 square miles. It extends westward roughly 1,200 miles across the Alaska Peninsula to the Kamacha Peninsula of Russia. They also formed the northernmost part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. And in fact, there are quite a few battles and skirmishes that took place during World War II with the Japanese. And they invaded and occupied Kiska and Attu, becoming the only one of only 2 invasions of the U.S. during World War II in North American soil. The island's composed of 6 groups, east to west. You have the Fox Islands, which includes Unalaska, Umac, the islands of the Four Mountains, with the main ones being Unalaska and Chugundak. Adrianoff Islands, which includes, well, our stop at PADK, but also Atka, Emilia, Signum, and Tanaga. The Rat Islands of Kiska and Amchika. The near islands of Attu, Agatu, and the Semichi Islands, Shemya, which is where we actually visited last time we were in the Aleutians, and finally the Commander Islands, mainly Bering in Russia. And there's lots of volcanoes on these islands. And the highest point is actually on Unimak Island of Shishalden Volcano at around 9,373 feet. So, and here's a picture of the Aleutians for you. There's Unimak Island, the first of and we were actually flying over, just flew past that. Again, hard to see with all that cloud cover. Some of this stuff is hard to see with clouds and all covering the entire. Not hard to see. So there's the tallest peak there in the Aleutians. So well, again, there's not much Google Street data around this part of Alaska, sadly. So there's some absolutely crazy pictures, like this one. This is actually one of the areas of the craters. I believe this one is. It was Mount Altnock, apparently in the volcano area right around Fort Lynn. There's that crazy scenery here. Looks absolutely crazy. Of course, there's Unalaska, Dutch Harbor. And this here's Dutch Harbor, one of the more. Now, this, of course, you guys all know Dutch Harbor from, right? Um, if any of you guys who aren't aware of your reality TV stuff, you guys probably know what um, Unalaska is. You guys probably don't know where this in recent history come from. Yeah, it's actually where the fishermen for Deadliest Catch were at. They were actually here at Unalaska Island. This is where they did the whole Deadliest Catch from Unalaska. I was tempted to actually do some flying there. Um, I did thought about making that a stop, but this is where they built some of the old forts and stuff. Dutch Harbor, actually from. But I would like to check that out. So thank you guys all so much for joining on in. If you guys are enjoying this information and stuff and learn more about the world, don't be afraid to smash the follow button and support the channel. We stream here 3 days a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Wednesdays are our virtual airline stream, and as soon as next week happens, will be general aviation streams. This series will be canned due to the imminent release of MSFS 2024. So I decided I want to do, and with how immense the change will be from 20 to 2024, I think it would be the best. So, just 383, and I think Unalaska's to our left is Unalaska. I think we could, if you could barely see out the volcanoes and stuff, yeah, right over this area. Absolutely gorgeous area. let's go ahead and get more about it. So, more about the Aleutians, of course. Um, the climate here is actually pretty oceanic, and you'd be surprised, but usually the temperatures are actually pretty moderate and uniform and heavy rainfall. Though fogs are very constant in this area. Summers are typically much cooler than Southeast Alaska. However, the winter temperatures are actually nearly the same. So as a result, it's pretty uniform throughout the entire year. So not too cold like some other places in Alaska, but not too warm. Well, so the temperatures are pretty much uniform year round. In terms of flora and fauna, well, it's really tough for flora to spawn here because there's no real trees due to all the weather conditions of the wind stuff. Trees are not there. However, there's a lot of herbage and shrubs that can better resist the winds of the Aleutian Islands. So you have all sorts of shrubs like crowberry, blue joint, grasses, sedges, and flowering plants are very common in this area. So, of course, for fauna, it's home to very large colonies of seabirds. In fact, Boulder Island in particular has 21 different breeding seabird species, including the endemic Legway kittiwake, as well as other colonies located in Kitska, Garleoy, Bogoslav, and many other islands across the Aleutians. And lots of vagrant Asiatic birds visit here, including the common rosefinch, Siberian ruby throat, the lanceolated warbler, and even egret species here too. One of the keystone species of the Aleutian Islands are the sea otters, as they help encourage the growth of kelp forests and control the sea urchin population. As a result, so and one of the ways you can connect to the Aleutian Islands is through the Alaska Marine Highway system, and it passed through many of the islands here. Pretty important areas about the Aleutians. They lied. The winds are stronger than anticipated. Yeah, things are, that's Alaska weather for you, I'm an addict. That's Alaska weather for you. Always prepare for the unexpected in Alaska. Mm. Thankfully, though, for this one, we have ILS landing for the next airport. ADAC has ILS frequency, which is a rarity among island airports in the Aleutians. So we actually got ILS stuff come and helpful for that. That's at least one. That's at least a positive takeaway from this one. So, oh boy. Now, of course, about Unalaska, which was we flew over. Well, Dutch Harbor was actually the largest settlement in the Aleutian Islands. Largest settlement there. Population of only around 4,000 people. This is known as Dutch Harbor, which include a operating base in Fort Mears, which was built during World War II. It's very well known for its strong fishing industry and its large population of bald eagles. Make their home here in the harbor. Of course, nowadays a lot of people know this for being the deadliest catch. But the reason why it grew so much as a fishing thing is because it's home to a large fishery port in the United States in terms of seafood caught every year since 1981. They produce a lot, so a lot of people catch the rich marine life that is all over the Aleutian Islands. All the rich seafood stuff too. what a peaceful morning here, of course. Of course, also the other nice thing about having to do the countries alphabetically and just do an order, yeah, not have to worry about long flights over the ocean. Also nice. Just get some of the more boring stuff out of the way. And if countries are really small, I could do multiple of them today, which will speed things up. So yeah, more about the Google Earth. So let's see. Look at more about this. So here's some of the images of the places I've visited in Alaska in real life. Here's Ketchikan, Alaska. This is one of my. This is one of the first off for many people. If they ever went to Alaska, of course. Check out good old Ketchikan. Yep, the salmon capital of the world, Ketchikan. I've been to this place. Very nice town. Very popular with a lot of cruise ships, obviously, and it's a gorgeous town. Yeah, I've been around this area. During last month, I've been around this area. It was part of the wildlife expedition Zodiac I did. Absolutely gorgeous. was like Ketchikan, Alaska. And of course, one of my favorite areas of any trip to Alaska is Juneau. There's Mount Juneau in the background, and of course, Juneau, Alaska, absolute gorgeous place. Juneau's apparently got what, the tram, the Gold Belt tram takes you. Take the tram up here, and you can actually go very top of the top, and you have some absolutely insane views of the Juneau area. I haven't done this before. You can actually hike your way up to there, and you get some insane views of Alaska's capital city. Amazing views. Of course, there's the beautiful town of Sitka, probably my favorite new place I discovered on the when I was visiting Alaska. Little Sitka, a gorgeous downtown, gorgeous area. Sitka is one of my absolute favorites of my trip during. And when I went there, it was a perfect day. It's clear skies all around. Like, no joke, I escaped the worst of the weather in April and May, managed to escape the worst weathers usually for Alaska. That is lucky. A couple more places. That's Sitka. Sitka area is really nice. And of course, Skagway, I did the Klondike Highway. So we went up the highway. We had some amazing views of the Klondike Highway up here. I think if I try to remember what was one. Oh, this one, right here. This one right here. Ah, yes, I remember this one. So right here and took the pictures and got all those Klondike Mountains in the background. Oh, that was. I remember doing this back in earlier in my way. Just breathtaking. Yeah, this is why I like Alaska so lot. It's just great scenery no matter where you're in the state. Southeast, the fjords and the islands, glaciers. You have the south central part of Anchorage. That's really cool. Denali, Wrangell. Even some of the other stuff more inland, like the Gates of the Arctic National. have some really remote areas. Well, those are also just gorgeous areas. You know, that might even inspire me to do a national park series too. So my good friend Foxtrot's made a few of them. Maybe I start doing that too. And take 25 of America's great national parks of my choice, which will also include, and there'd be a couple of them I would probably pick, for each of the different states. For example, California might do Yosemite or either Yosemite or Death Valley, for example. For Colorado, I would probably pick Rocky Mountains National Park. Utah, I might do 5 of those national parks in Utah. I've done it before. I did it in this journey too. But do the big 5 of Zion, Bryce, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches. God. Those are the. I really want to know what they look like in 24 because I've flown into them. They're just gorgeous. Hey, Angry One Horn with a huge raid of 11 people. Angry One Horn and viewers, good to see you guys here. Collaborate? You actually want to collaborate? You sure, Angry Horn, you want to collaborate with me? I'm gonna have to decline. No. I never had that before. Thank you. I hope you had a great stream, Angry One Horn. I hope you had a great time. I hope you had a great stream. So, guys, this is actually currently the last leg of the Around the World trip for now. We will be moving on to a we're gonna cancel the Around the World trip because MSFS 24 is gonna come up in 2 months. So why not take a break from the Around the World trip stuff and we'll come back to it in 24 in the future when we got whole new sceneries and stuff to explore. So why not explore the world with even better scenery? Hey, Sergeant Staff, good to see you, my dude. Let me get a shout out for Sergeant Staff. Welcome in, my dude. Good to see you again, my dude. Here's Sergeant Staff's channel here, a good long-time old friend of mine as well. So, Angry One Horn, where'd you end up deciding to fly to today on your Sunday streams? So, I hope you had a great time. And Recon Fox, thank you for the follow, Recon Fox 67. Thank you so much. So, we're flying to PADK Island. We start from Anchorage a little earlier today. We stopped at Colby, Alaska. We had to deal with a very significant head crosswind of like 27 knot head crosswind. It was like this direction. Now we're heading to PADK. The reason for that was when I originally planned all of this, it was going to go from PADK over to Japan. And we start heading to Japan, but I decided, but then I realized with 24 coming out, I'm going to redo the entire all countries trip. Visit every country. So I decided to redo it all. So I hope you guys understand about that. Plus, I've already decided what was going to be my first MSFS 2024 series is going to be planned for the Friday and Sunday streams, which is going to be an all GA experience. That's going to be the 50 states in 50 streams, which is going to be each of the 59 states in alphabetical order, starting with Alabama. So we'll start from Alabama all the way to the final U.S. state, I believe, in alphabetical order is Vermont. No, wait, it's Wyoming. From Alabama to Wyoming. We'll be visiting each of their state capitals too. So, for example, our flight plans include a visit to each state's capital. For example, in Alabama, its capital is Montgomery, so we'll have to do some planning that at least includes a visit over to Montgomery, Alabama. But we'll also try and find some interesting destinations and places to visit. For example, I'm looking at New Mexico. Our capital's at Santa Fe. So we might do some visiting at White Sands Missile Range, Albuquerque. and in Santa Fe and then up in the national forest or something like that. But we'll learn about each of the U.S. states and what makes each state tick. Because I do enjoy general aviation flying and I'm a U.S. based flight simmer, so that would be perfect. And I can do it at my own pace, which is the best part. So the plane we're flying today is the 737-700 cargo, and yeah, it's in the Firefly colors. So, in the amazing Firefly Air colors, the two-tone Murphy flights into. Oh, nice! Um, from Jerome, Idaho to West Yellowstone, Montana. Ooh. Awesome. Yeah, West Yellowstone Airport. Very, very underappreciated little airport. Right next to Yellowstone. Very cool place to fly to. Speaking of Yellowstone, Angry Warhorn, I did some research on my own free time. So I was looking at the West United States because I know my family wants to visit that part of the world in 2026. So I did some research and I mainly looked at some really interesting destinations, and one of those was the Wyoming and Montana states of Montana and Wyoming. So Yellowstone was one of them. I was looking at areas around Jackson, Wyoming, and Cody. Both those areas are very beautiful areas. They got a lot of really cool things to do. Plus, they're close to both Yellowstone and Teton. And then I was also looking at Montana as well, mainly looking at Bozeman. Bozeman is really cool to check out. Kalispell, because Kalispell's right around Glacier National Park. Glacier's pretty cool. Missoula. Missoula's another really beautiful place as well. Missoula. So I think those would be really cool. I think around the states of Wyoming, Montana would be amazing for a trip. Great scenery, great towns. That's I mean. Oh yeah, your son lives in Bozeman. Yeah, Montana's got some really great communities around there to visit. Glacier Park, Montana. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. It's all that's part of an 80-page document I worked on. But yeah, I did lots of research where I want to go. Really cool stuff. Everyone horn. I hope I can visit these areas in the future. So, pretty me. You live in Swan Valley, Missoula, and Kalispell during high school. Ah, cool. Lived there and there. Yeah, all that area around there is just gorgeous area. Just gorgeous. Absolutely breathtaking area. Oh, and Top Descent's coming up pretty soon. I'm gonna go ahead and set up. Let me see. 2,900 feet. Go ahead and set the altitude, so that way you can automatically intercept during. But yeah, I mean, what I did mainly for that document though was try to find website, travel guide, how to get to those places, activities, maybe sometimes tours, and places that you can rent within the prices. Yeah, beautiful areas. Missoula would be one of the top destinations in Montana. Glacier National Park in Kalispell, Bozeman. But Montana's got a lot of great places. I was actually surprised when I was looking this up. Really, really surprised about Montana. But it's Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually checking out these Western states. Oh, no worries, Sergeant Staff. No worry, my dude. Hey, things happen. Life happens. Not a big deal. Currently, right now, however, I'm doing this for all the 50 states. So I'm currently working on one for my mom in the central and Midwest United States, which would include like for the spring and summertime. I thought it would be cool to check out the Midwest, so I did Illinois, Indiana, my home state, um, Iowa. I forgot about Iowa when I started this originally. Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. So I'm currently working on, but there are some interesting places I actually found all over those states. Um, of course, the one was most interested so far has been Michigan because Michigan's got some really cool places. I know there's Holland, which is Holland and Muskegon are definitely would be interesting places to visit. Between all the duck-inspired places in Holland and Muskegon having the rich military history with the Silverside sub, and of course, there's good old Mackinac Island. Fun fact, they banned automobiles in that island, so you don't have automobiles. You do have horse carriages, but no automobiles. But that place has a rich history. Um, that's a really cool place. These are two places in Michigan I would like to visit. Of course, Ann Arbor would be really cool to visit. University of Michigan. Get to visit the big house. So I'm currently worked on I'm currently up to Nebraska now. Oh, pretty cool stuff. Really? Now, oh, Mackinac. Yeah, really. Sorry, Sergeant Staff. I mean, these are just places I like to check out for a day. Sorry about that. But, but Michigan would be pretty interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff to check out. But I think West is where I'm more interested. There's just so many great places, even in the smaller areas too. Because I was looking at the West and I thought there were so many really cool places in Colorado to visit. Between Breck, Vale, Breckenridge, Vale, Aspen, Glenwood Springs, cool place. Telluride, Durango, Boulder's really Boulder's quite nice to visit. Colorado Springs and around that area. I think it's either going to be like Colorado or any of those Wyoming, Montana places. Oh yeah, definitely. I would like to meet you too at some point. It would be pretty cool, but I don't know when that's going to happen though. It's not going to be for a very long time. Sergeant Staff. It's not going to be there for a very long time before this even. I will tell you that much honestly. It's going to be a long while. I mean, we still got 2 more whole years before all this, and I already got things scheduled for the next 2 years. So I hope to appear in next year's expo. However, I'm hoping that I'm going to come to next year's expo. I'm hoping I can make next year's expo in 25 Providence, because that's a much more realizable thing for me than being in Las Vegas. Because flying to Boston would not be much of an issue. I've already flown to Boston. course, the place we will be visiting for our final stop. Oh, nice. You're outside of Lansing. That's state capital. That's right. Yeah. I hope I can make it. If not, I can still go online since I'm a FSA captain. So, the place we're going to be visiting next is going to be Adak Island, Alaska. So Adak's going to be where we're going to be going here to today. So Adak Island is it's Adak City, population 171 people as of 2020. It's actually the westernmost municipality in the United States and the southernmost city in Alaska. It's located in the former location of its own naval air facility, of the Naval Air Facility Adak. It was incorporated as a city in 2001. Historically, this area was involved by the U.S. military, mainly during World War II, but also especially even more so during the Cold War as a naval air station and submarine surveillance center. However, in the 90s, when they downsized the military bases, they closed the base and turned it into a town, into a modern town. However, there have been talks of reopening the air base in 2021. Um, Pretty interesting stuff. So there are tourists that do visit here, mainly bird watchers like to visit this island due to many of the birds from Asia and elsewhere spotted there. Lots of bald eagles live in this area. There's very limited trails as they're not many of them are not maintained, and hunting and fishing continue here in the town. So something pretty interesting. And one of the notable people who was actually born here was author David Van. He was born in Adak. And of course, David Brown passed away in Adak um, in Space Shuttle Columbia during orbital reentry. He actually died during reentry. He worked at the Naval Branch Service in Adak from 1980. Pretty interesting stuff. Of course, the airport here is Adak Airport, and this is our final stop of this entire journey, funnily enough, phrases it sounds. No worries, Sergeant Staff. It's great to see you too, my dude. I hope you come back soon for. I hope to see you again soon, Sergeant Staff. This is Adak Airport. Used to be a military air base. This is actually an unusual airport for the Aleutian Islands. It's actually one of the largest airports in the Aleutians. And this is unusual because it actually has a 7,500 runway with ILS flight slope, which is unusual for an airport in the Aleutian Islands. And it currently has jet service every Wednesday and Saturday from Alaska Airlines to Anchorage. When they fly the 737-700 or 800 plane. Come here. However, historically, Adak was often used a lot for trans-Pacific passenger flights. Pan Am, for example, and when they did Seattle to Tokyo, Adak was actually a stop on one of them. So don't be surprised if you see planes trying to land in this airport for refueling. Yeah, pretty cool stuff about this airport. Cool stuff, guys. That's it, guys. That's going to be the last of this journey for me. So we got ILS to runway 23. According to our METAR report, I have a METAR for this island. So we currently have IFR, no warnings. We have a 13 to 19 knot crosswind at pointing to looks like 340 degrees. Yeah, 340-degree winds, 13 to 19 knots, 10 miles visibility, 900-foot ceiling. So yeah, the winds for direction 340, speed of 13 knots, wind gusts of 19 have been measured, visibility 10 miles, broken clouds at altitude of 900 feet. So that's something to take in mind when we get to the airport. So here we go. Yeah, who you guys? Who are? I hope you guys are excited for MSFS 24, which I am very much am. I mean, the thing I'm most excited about for 2024, of course, is definitely going to be all the new planes. I am super ecstatic for all the new aircraft, especially all the new Bush planes. Um, that is what I'm very interested in because um, they're going to bring a bunch of new Bush planes into this, and not just traditional Bush planes, but some really unique ones. I mean, we all know the Draco is going to be an absolutely plane. Draco is going to be really cool to see. I mean, I don't know if an airship's a Bush plane, but the airship is just really cool to see. Um, that's going to be really fun to fly. I mean, we're going to see the CL-415. I know the Twin R is going to come to the sim, which is really cool. The Albatross, the amphibian aerospace Albatross, that's going to be a really cool plane. The Sea Star Bush plane, this new Slin Aviation, Savage Norden, the X Cubs. I've got a lot of great Bush planes, and that's not even counting some of the new ones that are coming into this potentially as well. That's just Bush planes. That's not counting a lot of other really cool planes that we're going to see. Um, Military jets, helicopters, gliders. I mean, this is going to be, which means I'm even more. Trust me, I'm still a big GA guy. I just enjoy all forms of flying. Yeah, I'm curious what these places look like in 2024. These are some of these places in real life too. So some of the places I'm really interested in checking out here. This is from Google Earth. But here's some of the places I really want to see what they do with this. The first national park I would like to see what changes is going to be one of my absolute favorite parks, Denali. Denali National Park. One of the great national parks. Beautiful Denali. Tallest peak in North America. No, Alaska historically hasn't had great satellite data, so I would love to see what they can do with this area. That's one national park I would like to see with the new update. Number 2 national park I would love to see what it looks like with the update. I think it's the Grand Canyon. Of course, we already see plenty of images of it, but it's one thing to see the images from Asobo. I want to see the images from Sim now, because I know a lot of people want to check out the mighty Grand Canyon. There's a reason it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That would look amazing. And of course, Utah's national parks. But the main one I want to look at is Zion National. Zion, which Zion is basically a hiker's mecca for hiking. May just be one of the single best national parks for hikers. And I mean, there's some crazy trails all across Zion. I would love to see what they do. It's going to be Zion. I hope that in the other national park is definitely going to be Canyonlands. I know Canyonlands is one of the crazier national parks. Is Canyonlands and Arches too. Canyonlands in real life is an absolutely is one of the craziest national parks in the country. Canyonlands is just absolutely cannot wait. And then of course I don't think I've flown into this much, but Glacier National Park in Montana. Oh boy, I wonder what Glacier's going. Glacier's going. There's so many great national parks I really do want to check out. Maybe that may be a new stream. I know Flox. I wonder if Flox is around this area because I know he's got a few national parks suggestions. So to our left is the Great Sicken Volcano. To our left. There's the Great Sicken Volcano to our left. There's the Sicken Volcano. Let's take a close look at the mountain to our left. Here's the Great Sitkin volcano. Here it is, guys. Our final landing for this journey. The last day. I know it's tough to move on. I know it's sudden, but so I'll put this in YouTube and then we'll put this as discontinued. Here it is, guys. PADK Island. This is all part of the Adrianoff Islands chain of the Aleutian. Now, the last time I was here in the Aleutians, we actually went all the way from Shemya Island in Ericsson. And we went through all of the Aleutian Islands. Yeah, the cloud conditions are not very good here in ADAC. They're broken at 900 feet ceiling. Really low. Mhm. Here we are, guys. Yeah, we got an interesting landing here in ADAC. Yeah, we got a bit of a we got a bit of a 19-mile tailwind. That's going to be an interesting place to land. Here it is, guys. ADAC Island. Here we go, guys. Welcome to ADAC Island. We'll park over the nearest parking spot, which is going to be So guys, that officially wraps up this journey guide for now. So for this iteration, the journey is over. Um, we ended up here in ADAC. This will be the last day of our around the world trip for at least this iteration of it. Guys, I know this has been a very uneventful sort of end to it, but I hope you guys understand that we'll bring this back in the future. I know we'll do all countries again, just in the future. So guys, we're gonna go say hello to my excellent friend Tuto Murphy. He's currently doing his big old market garden stream. Guys, see you all soon. See you guys on Wednesday. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.